Thumbs up because yes, you are amazing. I am Uncle Mike, your favorite gamer's favorite uncle, and we are back here in November 2-3. Mike Zulu recreating MzeroA's flights to Oshkosh. We are sitting here on the ground in Wheeling, Ohio County, West Virginia. So this is where we left off on our last flight. So here is November 2-3, Mike Zulu sitting on the ground, ready to start. And so yeah, let's go ahead and get right in the cockpit. So let's get rid of the yokes, just so it makes it easier to click on all the buttons and everything. Fuel valve is in, fuel is on both, mixture is rich, throttle is cracked open. Let's go ahead and get everything warming up here. Get the multifunctional display warmed up here. Yep. Oral warnings are okay. Let's zoom out. We are heading to Fort Wayne, Indiana today. So let's go ahead and also, since we're over here on the multi-functional display, let's get track up set here. Enter.
Okay.
Go down, enter, menu. So track is up over there. Let's get rid of the inset over here. Turn that off. Let's put the wind on. There we go. Wind is on. Back. All right, everything is looking good there. We got that all set up. Our flight plan is pretty much direct IFR. We've got some wind and some perhaps clouds to deal with, but nothing doesn't look too intense. Turn the beacon on since we are operating the airplane. There we go. Everything is ready to go, and let's go ahead and get started. So can we get a clear prop? And there we go. Good start, and oil pressure is coming up. Looks like we got a Beach Baron parked right here in front of us. And as that's warming up, let's go ahead and go to about 1,000 RPMs here. Get that warmed up. I already listened to weather, so I already know. You can see it's cloudy, it's windy. So let's go ahead, and while we're letting everything warm up here, let's go ahead and also move this over to GPS. There we go. Got that all set up. Let's go ahead and get request IFR clearance.
Clearance delivery Cessna November 2-3 Mike Zulu IFR to Fort Wayne, ready to copy.
Cessna November 2-3 Mike Zulu is cleared to Fort Wayne Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 16 climb and maintain 8,000 feet.
8,000.
Frequency is 125.275 squawk 5526.
Cessna November 2-3 Mike Zulu cleared to Fort Wayne Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 16 climb and maintain
8,000 feet.
Departure
on the bug.
125.275 squawk 5526. Cessna Tree Mike Zulu readback correct. Contact ground on 121.75. Good day.
Go ahead and put a bug on there of 80 knot climb out. Let's go ahead and let's talk to ground. Oh, gotta get off cursor mode. Let's talk to ground.
Wheeling ground Cessna November 2-3 Mike Zulu ready to taxi IFR.
Cessna November 2-3 Mike Zulu taxi to and hold short of runway 16 using taxiway. Contact tower on 118.1 when ready.
Taxiing hold short runway 16 via taxiway Cessna 3 Mike
All right.
Zulu.
Gotcha. Let's go to runway 16. All right, short taxi to runway 16. Gonna have definitely a right crosswind departure here. Go ahead and get a little angle to us here. There we go. Parking brake is set. Let's do a quick run up here. Alright, about 1640. So all that's on. Let's check the magnetos. Look good on the right. Let it bring it back up. Look good on the left. Bring it back up. Check how our instruments look. Everything's looking good there. Transponder is set in altimeter mode. Landing lights coming on. I'm going to go ahead and preset the heading bug to 160 for the runway we're leaving here in case we need to go into heading mode on the autopilot. There we go. 160. I like it. Let's come back off the throttle. And let's go ahead and talk to tower. Tell them we're ready to go.
Wheeling Tower Cessna November 2 Tree Mike Zulu ready for IFR departure runway 16.
Cessna November 2 Tree Mike Zulu altimeter, tree 0.19er wind 249er at tree 2. Cleared for takeoff runway 16.
Get that altimeter set there. There we go.
Cleared for takeoff runway 16 Cessna
All
November.
right, we're ready to go.
Mike Zulu.
Parking brake is off. We are clear for takeoff. We are heading to Fort Wayne, Indiana. Again, recreating Jason and Matt's flights on their way to Oshkosh 22. So we're gonna be there soon. So all right, let's get back in the cockpit. And I see runway 16. Power's coming in. We got this right crosswind here. And rotate. No flaps, nothing like that. Trim, trim, trim. Trim, trim, trim. Trim, trim, trim. Off we go. Into the wild blue yonder. Come back on the power just a little bit.
Cessna Tree Mike Zulu contact Pittsburgh departure on 125.275. Good day.
Roger that. Good day.
125.275 Cessna Tree Mike Zulu.
Whew, it's windy, all right. Switching over.
Pittsburgh departure Cessna November 2 Tree Mike Zulu is at 1,900 feet, climbing 8,000 feet.
Cessna November 2 Tree Mike Zulu Pittsburgh departure altimeter tree 0.19er continue as planned.
Roger that. Make this right turn and get on course to Fort Wayne, Indiana. Got some traffic right off the nose. Probably way up high. This G1000 version does not show us the altitude. I think the new version is going to show us the altitude. The new NXI version will show us the altitude. All right, gonna go ahead and now get on course, climbing to what we filed, 8,000. Quarries and stuff like that. There is Wheeling, Ohio County, West Virginia. Trim. Looking for about 80 knots here. That's what we've got there on the flight director and everything on the G1000. Oh, looks like a coal mine. Climb out here on our way to Fort Wayne, Indiana. On the way to Oshkosh, Osh 22. I think it's looking good here on the climb out. A little fast, but we've got a heck of a pretty good little headwind component here. Just like the boys had in their flag, that 19 knot crosswind and a 13 knot component. Headwind component. That's going to slow us down just like it did in their video, but we're going to recreate what they did also. So we are going to climb up here. We're going to get on the flight path, so just kind of a little bit of an angle here, and then we'll come up here. So let's go ahead and get everything set. Autopilot comes on. Autopilot will now pitch up and roll. And let's go ahead and bring the heading bug, center the heading bug onto us. Let's go on to heading mode, and there we go. We got our nice little German friend here, Otto. He is got the airplane. Everything is looking good. We'll monitor as we pass through 4.4, going to 8. And we're coming up here on our flight path, which will then switch over to nav mode on Auto. That way we can take a look around as we are leaving Kilo Hotel Lima Golf. In the last video I kept calling it Ohio, like the state of Ohio, and that was wrong. It's Wheeling, Ohio County, West Virginia. Mountain Mama, take me Fort Wayne, Indiana. Alright, we are now coming up on our flight path. So let's go into nav mode. And look at that, we got 35 knot headwind. This is getting pretty crazy up here. Pretty crazy. Which is gonna really slow us down. We got 68 knots right now over the ground in the climb to 8,000. We're gonna go see what it's like even higher. And then what we might do is then, like they did, we'll climb to 8,000, we'll check it, and then we'll actually ask for a descent like they did, like Jason and Matt did in the in real life video. And again, in the description below, you can see a link to MzeroA's YouTube channel. You can also get a link to the flight that I am recreating here, where they flew from Wheeling, Ohio County, West Virginia to Fort Wayne, Indiana. They climbed up, and they even said in their video they were hitting like almost 60 knot headwinds. So we're going to climb up here to 8,000 feet, and then we're going to request a descent back down to probably 6,000 feet, at which point we will probably go then into ludicrous speed on our way to Fort Wayne, Indiana. And you can see here, look at our crab angle. 44 knots headwind. Woo! We are passing through. I'm going to go ahead. Actually, I'm not even going to lean it out because I know what our plan's going to be. We're going to get up here. It's going to be horrendous. We're going to ask for a descent down to 3,000 feet, and then we're just going to keep it full rich. So 6,000 going to 8 here. We're going to go ahead and recreate, like I said, their climb out and then their descent down. So, but yeah, you can see that crab angle we've got over there on the multifunctional display. Whew. Poor little 2-3 Mike Zulu just fighting here into this wind. I mean, the wind, as for an airplane, the airplane's like, yeah, it's amazing. Wow, I got like 44 knots coming right at me. I am moving through the air so fast. Woo, this is so nice. But then for us as travelers, it's like, we're not going anywhere. So, which means the landing probably in Fort Wayne is going to be pretty sporty. So, all right, 6.4 going to 8. But according to Jason on the most current video, so basically this flight, we are going to Gary, Indiana next. Then I think we're going to go up the shoreline over Chicago and Milwaukee, up to Appleton, which is actually just north of Oshkosh. And then they're going to check the weather and all that, and then they're going to launch, I think, from Appleton into Oshkosh. Don't know how they arrived in Oshkosh, if they did some type of IFR, if they did the fiscal arrival, I don't know. So we'll see what happens to them on the next couple of videos. But I know in real life tonight they are releasing the video of Fort Wayne, Indiana to Gary, Indiana. So we shall see. And again, I'd kind of like to recreate all of their videos before I leave in real life here Sunday morning, and then gone for 2 weeks. And as I've talked about, that is why I am putting up all this content, flying content, because it's Oshkosh. And so I've been watching videos and stuff of everybody up at Oshkosh, because most of the in real life YouTubers that I've been recreating are now in Oshkosh. And so I thought it would be fun to recreate somebody. And MzeroA here, they have been posting all of their flights on their way to Oshkosh 22. So I am recreating those flights here in the Cessna 172 and Microsoft Flight Simulator on the Xbox Series S. And since I am leaving in real life, I wanted to put that content up when we come back. When I come back from my in real life business and personal trip in 2 weeks, we will be making sure, we will probably be checking out Way of the Hunter. So on Monday, August 15th will probably be a flight, but then on my live stream on Wednesday night, which is what, like August 17th, we will be checking out Way of the Hunter. Yes, a hunting game that is coming out, and so we'll be checking that out. Then I'll get on that week, and then unfortunately I leave for another business trip after that, so it's getting kind of sporadic for me here a little bit, but we will have fun no matter what. But I also would like to start making more of the YouTube shorts, gaming moments, shorts, and all that kind of stuff. So I made one test of ridge soaring over by Nephi during one of my live streams, and that seems to have worked out pretty good. So I think that's what I'll probably do in the future with some of the games that I don't live stream, because like Saints Row is coming out. Probably will not live stream that. That'll be kind of my own personal co-op fun game with friends, but I will probably record using OBS, and I've got a scene set up so I can then cut it up and make it into a shorts. So I'll probably do that. So all right, we are at 7.5 going to 8 here. So we're about to get on up to where we filed to. We're still in, clearly we are in IMC here, but we've got 41 knots. Not really.
Cessna Tree Mike Zulu, please expedite your climb 8,000 feet.
No, man, I'm not gonna expedite. I don't want to slow down. I'm at 80 knots. I'm 80 knots in the climb, and we're 56 knots over the ground. Great! So the wind has not really died down. We've lost the, oh man, we've lost it. What happened here? I do need to lean out. We lost a lot of power. We're getting close down to, look at that, 62 knots. Oh, I'm gonna lean this thing out, gain some RPMs. Whew, that's scary. That's scary as we get going to Gary. Oh, but that's the next flight, so. Yeah, all of a sudden I look down, I'm monitoring, and I'm like, what? We're losing all this airspeed. Again, there was no auto, the plane's just doing what we were telling it to do. We've got to monitor the airspeed and all that, so that was a little scary. But let's go ahead and lean on out here, get some RPMs. Again, we are only 67 knots right now over the ground. The wind, just like the boys in 2-3 Mike Zulu, and the real thing. Look at that crab angle. Well, we got a good. I mean, it says we are direct track is 285, and we are going. So we've got a 11 degree crab here at cruise. All right, so let's go ahead and contact ATC. Let's get an altitude decrease of 5,000 feet.
Pittsburgh departure Cessna Tree, Mike Zulu. Request 3,000 feet.
Cessna November 2 Tree Mike Zulu request denied.
Now I'm sad. Okay, can we get a 4,000?
Pittsburgh departure Cessna Tree, Mike Zulu. Request 4,000 feet.
Cessna Tree
Okay.
Mike Zulu descend and maintain 4,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 4,000 feet Cessna Tree, Mike Zulu.
All right, so we'll put 4,000 on the bug here. See if they yell at us here. So what we're gonna do is just like the boys did. We're gonna come in here and we're gonna put like 100 foot per minute descent. Try to speed up here. Go to about 2,600 RPMs. And remember, as we punch through here, we're gonna have to re-rich. So we descend down here. All right, at least now we're 94 knots over the ground. Though we've got a 40 knot headwind, or actually a 33 knot component right off the nose. All right, let's go ahead, and we didn't do an after takeoff checklist.
Cessna Tree Mike Zulu, please expedite your descent 4,000 feet.
They keep telling me that. I wonder what happens. I'm gonna let them yell at me and see what happens, but I will catch you after ludicrous speed here on our way to Fort Wayne, Indiana. So I'll see you after ludicrous speed. All right, I'm back here with you. We are about 20 miles out from Fort Wayne, Indiana, into the descent. Went ahead and canceled IFR, and so now we are VFR. And for some reason, the AI in Microsoft Flight Simulator here is giving us runway 5, even though the ATIS and everything else is telling us that it's favoring 2-4, and it's really blowing just like it was in the in real life video. And again, you can find that in real life video of the video I'm recreating and the flight that I'm recreating in the description below. So I'm not really sure why they're giving us runway 5, but canceled IFR, went VFR, squawking 1200. Again, we're about 15 miles out here, and like I said, they gave us 5, but I don't know if we can change that in the official, cancel the landing intentions. But no, I want a full stop. We're in this descent. Let me come back off the power here just a little bit. There we go. So we're descending down to traffic pattern altitude. So we might just have to take it upon ourselves here to go ahead and go VFR and not talk to the tower, just because it seems like the flight simulator is a little cattywampus here. I'm going to go ahead and change this. Let's go ahead and dial. We're going to, like I said, we're going to go into, oops, not what I wanted to do. Let's go into heading mode. I wanted to change. There we go. We are going to land runway 24, 23, what we want. So I'm going to go ahead and shift that to runway. There we go. There's runway 23. So we got a little visual indication here of that. So we'll probably enter what looks to be, well, maybe we'll just cross the field and see, because I cannot get this to change what we want. So for them to not yell at us, what I'm going to go do here is not do this in the real world, but I am going to go ahead and turn off see if I can turn on something. Nope, it's making sure that at least something is on. So COM 1's going to stay on, so they're going to yell at us probably. I've got the airport out there already. Alright, so what I'm going to do is under heading mode here, we're going to go ahead and get set up for a left base for runway 23 here. And again, because it is really blowing, you can see there on the multifunctional display we got now a crosswind of 24 knots. Right now, if you look down at our components, we've got a crosswind 22 knots, headwind of 6. So we are really going to be landing in a blow here. So again, it's going to yell at us probably as we make our approach, because I can't change the runway, because ATC has given us 5, but that is a complete downwind landing with winds up to over 20 knots. And that is actually what what Jason and Matt had in their real flight. So if you click on the link in the description below for their actual flight, you can see that they landed in like 21 knots, gusting to 29. We're somewhere around 30 knots here. So, but for some reason, who knows why, it has gotten all cattywampus. So you're going to hear probably them yelling at us and all that kind of stuff. But one thing we can maybe do is I'm just going to go ahead and switch the radio there. I'm going to come over here and zoom on in. So we're basically flying a real extended left base right now, and then we'll just turn inbound once we get up here, because again, we've got the runway heading dialed in as the VOR, and then we've got our bearing to the airport set up there as the blue line on the CDI. And so that before we can figure out when we need to make our turn to an extended final. And we are 9 miles out, so yeah, it's probably going to be about a 7 or 8 miles straight in. So let's see if we can find the airport here. I think it's out there.
Indianapolis Center, generic November 873 Whiskey Hotel. Is at
Oh, we went back to
3,000 feet.
let's go.
Generic November 873 Whiskey Hotel, Indianapolis Center.
There we go. All right, so of course it looks like right now we're pointing right. I see the downtown buildings there. It looks like of Fort Wayne. Looking to see, I think that's the airport right over there. But again, we've got our. Not going to make the same mistake as I did last time. Not going to miss the airport this time. So we're at traffic pattern altitude. Passing over a highway here. Does that help us out where we're at? Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, I see the interstate there on the VFR chart, which goes, yeah, curves down and goes right by the airport. So that's probably the airport right out there, right out the left wing. Let's see here. It's hard to judge the distance here in the sim. You just don't have the eyeballs for it. So, all right, we've got a pretty good offset. Going to start and make a turn to the left here. Still under autopilot. Fort Wayne, the city of Fort Wayne, is right off the nose there. As we make our turn, let's go ahead and come off the power a little bit. Slow down. And so we're just gonna play as if we have been given clear for a runway 23, because that is definitely the way the wind is favoring, and I can't seem to change the runway. And so you can see down here that we have got right now 10 knots, but a 15 knot crosswind, and 18 knots is what we're looking at here right now. So still got a pretty good blow. Still trying to get actual eyes on the runway. Oh, I got eyes on the runway. There it is, right on the cursor there. All right, so runway in sight. Feel better about that. And because of this wind, and just like the boys did in their in real life flight, I am not going to use flaps at all. It is really blowing. So runway in sight. Autopilot is coming off. I am on the sticks here. I'm going to come back on the power just a little bit. I want to just go ahead and make a slight turn here to the left so I can get runway in sight. There's runway in sight coming into view right there. Runway 23. And again, because of the wind here, I am not going to use flaps. Trim, trim, trim. Gonna carry some speed going into this also. So I'm looking for about 80 knots here. That's what I'm gonna go ahead and do on my approach. I can see that crosswind component down there on my primary flight display. The crosswind's going away, but look at that headwind, 17 knots. So we are gaining that headwind, so good thing is that it almost is coming straight down the pipe. Trim, trim, trim. Runway in sight. Let's do a gumps check. So gas is on both, plenty of gas, undercarriage is down, mixture is full, rich, prop is in, seats and seat belts. We are looking good here for our controlled crash. into runway 23 at Fort Wayne, Indiana, Kilo Foxtrot Whiskey Alpha. Recreating the flight that Jason and Matt are doing on their way to Oshkosh 22, going to Osh 22 in November 23, Mike Zulu. Again, you can find their channel and the flight that I am recreating here down in the description below. Yep, very windy here, flying on the sticks. What I mean by the sticks is the Xbox controller that I'm on.
500.
Trim, trim, trim. Real bumpy here. Got some turbulence. I would expect maybe some stuff coming in over those trees there. Okay, I'm gonna add some power here. Getting a little slow to what I want, especially with all of this turbulence here. Woo. This is sporty here. All right, there we go. I've kind of taken those trees out of play. That was, I think those trees were getting a little big in the windshield there. All right, coming back here on the power now. All right, I think airport is made. I'm a little fast now. I'm going to go ahead and just come back on the power. And I will manage speed right now just by go ahead and using gravity. Kind of do an old Bob Hoover maneuver here. Looking good. It's gonna probably float on me, so just gonna let it. Really want to be probably full stall. I don't want this plane flying here. Look at this, slowing it down. What a landing, huh? Probably could have got off at back over there. I'm not really sure what the what the taxi tape's telling me to do here. But we are down in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And we're kind of doing our own thing here just because, well, we're doing our own thing because they were giving us runway 5. They want us to land the other way downwind, and that was just weird. So we're gonna go ahead. So the sim got a little cattywampus on us. We're gonna just come over here. We're gonna get out of the way. Then we could probably go ahead and talk to ground once we cross the line here. All right, let's see if it lets me dial up ground now. Yep.
Ground Cessna November, 2 Tree Mike Zulu, request taxi to parking.
Cessna November
There we
2
go.
3 Mike Zulu taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Bravo.
Taxiing to general aviation parking using taxiway Bravo Cessna, Tree Mike Zulu.
You can hear that wind blowing. Make sure that tail didn't get lifted up here. Full down deflection as we taxi. taxi to ramp 58. I see it out there. So yeah, it was pretty sporty flight and landing there. We had the headwind all the way here. Then pretty sporty landing there. Got real slow. Probably could have just put on the brakes, but got off at this taxiway right here because we were so slow, but we'll let it be. But Jason and Matt here in MzeroA, they are headed to Gary, Indiana after this flight, so that is what we'll be recreating. They are posting that video here tonight. I see that where they want us to go, but I am going to go ahead and cut across here to parking. Look at that, they brought out the whole welcome wagon again for us. We'll come right in here. Oh yeah. Not to meat grinder them. Really? Come on. And there we go. All right, yeah, you like that? Parking brake is set. All the bells and whistles come off. Pull it. Oh yeah. Yep. The engine is stopped. Thank you for letting me know that. And everything comes off. There we go. So welcome here. We have flown November 23 Mike Zulu from Wheeling, Ohio County in West Virginia over here to Fort Wayne, Indiana. We'll look forward to the next flight that we've got going here as we recreate MzeroA's flights to Oshkosh. And so this is now day 3 and flight, I'm not even sure what flight this is. No, I have no idea. This is, I think this is day 3, flight 1, I think. I can't remember. But follow along, because next we are going to Gary, Indiana, then from there up toward Oshkosh and staging, I think, at Appleton. But we'll have to wait and see how it turns out with those videos. So yeah, subscribe if you haven't. Click that like button if you do. Come join me in chat on a future live stream, and game on. I am Uncle Mike, your favorite gamer's favorite uncle. Bye everybody, see you on the next flight.